Well, as we discussed, it's a database first. IEnumerable is in memory. Viewer will have a follow-up question. Which one is faster? Hi, welcome to the Entity Framework question answer series. Here we will discuss the interview questions for an entity framework. Now, one of the most discussed question is IEnumerable versus IQueryable. Even if they know, many of the candidate is confused and they could not answer this question. Let's check out the details. There are various patterns. If you answered it very shortly, your impression may not be right. If you check all the details today. Now, let's look at the first. First, let's look at the code. So here you go. Here, I have created two demos, demo IQueryable and demo IEnumerable. Now, IQueryable, we are fetching queryable employees using IQueryable in the first from the database. Now we have this query, right? Query employable where e.department equals to engineering, ordered by e.id and take 2. Now the most interesting part is what is the query which gets sent when you make a query with IQueryable. Understand this is the SQL query which will get passed to the database. Select top 2 from employees where department equals to engineering and ordered by ID. So that means all the filter criterias are getting passed to the database. That's why IQueryable is database. So you need to remember IQueryable gets executed at a database level. Now let's look at the IEnumerable. In IEnumerable, like same query, we are gonna pass as a IEnumerable and the same query where e dot department equals to engineering, order ID equals to order by equals to ID. Now here, what is the query which is getting passed to the database? Is getting select star from employees. So it's first fetching the data. And then performing the filter operation in the memory. So IEnumerable is at the memory level. IQueryable versus IEnumerable. Now IQueryable, as we discussed, it's a database first. IEnumerable is in memory. We'll look at the side by side. This is the same query which we discussed. This is the same query which we discussed. Say IQueryable, IEnumerable. So here LINQ query is composed, query is translated to SQL and then executed at the database level. Then you will get the result. At the same time, in IEnumerable, query gets composed, executed in the database, all rows are loaded. This is the most important thing. All rows are loaded, filtered, sorted, taken memory, and then the result is. However, the result is same, but here the entire query gets executed at a database end. All the data gets fetched from the database and then filtered at the memory level. So here is the query which we sent to database in IQueryable and IEnumerable, which we saw. Now, the most important question. The interviewer will have a follow-up question. Which one is faster? So the ideal answer is it's not straightforward. You cannot say that IQueryable is faster or IEnumerable is faster. When you have a large amount of data set, then IQueryable is better because query gets executed at a database end, and IEnumerable is slower because you are performing a large data set operation in the memory. On the contrary side, in the small data set, IQueryable is good, but IEnumerable is accepted, sometimes better. So in short, IEnumerable is sometimes better for the smaller data set. So it depends on the dynamic decision that depend on your data set which one to use. So this is all the details of this particular interview question. You need to stay calm, don't confuse, and answer step by step. Don't get confused which one is faster, because if you answer the performance question correctly, that demonstrate your perfect experience. That's all for this question. We'll see you in the next question. Thank you.